All right, this is the solution video for Unit 2 review, problem number 28. All right, so you're given that x is equal to t cubed minus t, and y is 5t squared minus 15. All right, so find dy dx. All right, so remember, in order to do this, we're going to find dy dt and dx dt, and then divide. All right, so dy dt, derivative of 5t squared would be 10t. All right, dx dt. All right, derivative of t cubed minus t would be 3t squared minus 1. All right, and so dy dx, remember, is going to be the dy dt divided by dx dt. All right, so dy dt is 10t divided by dx dt, 3t squared minus 1. All right. So that is dy dx. All right. Now it says find the equations of the tangent normal lines to the curve in the xy plane at t equals 2. All right. So remember, we need to find a point. All right. And so the point is going to be x evaluated at t equals 2, comma, y evaluated at t equals 2. All right. So what is x evaluated at t equals 2? All right, so we have 2 cubed minus 2. So 2 cubed is 8 minus 2 is 6. All right, and what is y at t equals 2? So y is 5t squared minus 15. So 5 times 2 squared minus 15. All right, so 5 times 2 squared. 2 squared is 4 times 5 is 20 minus 15 is 5. All right, and so our point is 6 comma 5. All right, and then our slope, remember the slope of the tangent line is going to be found by evaluating the dy dx at the value t equals 2. And so dy dx, 10 times 2 divided by 3 times 2 squared minus 1. So 10 times 2, 20 over 3 times 2 squared. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 1 is 11. So 20/11ths is the slope of the tangent line. So the equation of the tangent line is going to be y minus 5 equals slope of 20/11ths times x minus 6. All right, and then the equation of the normal line, remember, is going to be y minus 5 equals, and then we just take the opposite reciprocal of the slope, negative 11/20ths x minus 6. All right, so that's part B. All right, part C now says find d squared y dx squared. So remember, what does that mean? That means the derivative with respect to x of dy dx. All right, in other words, d dx, the derivative with respect to x of 10t over 3t squared minus 1. All right, and so we're going to have to use a quotient rule. All right, so we have 3t squared minus 1 times the derivative of 10t with respect to x. It's very important that you remember the difference between with respect to x and with respect to t. So the derivative of 10t would be 10 times the derivative of t with respect to x, right? And remember, the dt dx is the reciprocal of dx dt. All right, then minus the denominator 3t squared minus 1, sorry, the numerator 10t times the derivative of the denominator, which would be 6t times the derivative of t with respect to x, and then all divided by the denominator 3t squared minus 1 quantity squared. All right, so now we're very close to being done, but you'll notice that there's a dt dx in both of those. So if I factor that out, I'm left with, I'm going to put the 10 in front, 10 times 3t squared minus 1 minus 10t times 6t, and then over 3t squared minus 1 squared. All right, and then I factored out the dt dx. All right, so now I have a dt dx multiplied here, but what is dt, sorry, not dt dt, what is dt dx? It is the reciprocal of dx. dt, right? So dt dx would be 1 over 3t squared minus 1. So instead of dt dx, I'm going to substitute 1 over 3t squared minus 1. So really, that is just 1 over 3t squared minus 1, which ends up putting a 3t squared minus 1 cubed in the denominator, right? Because I have a 3t squared minus 1 squared and a 3t squared minus 1 to the first. All right, and so if I simplify here, I get 30t squared minus 60t squared. So I get negative 30t squared, and then minus 10, and then all divided by 3t squared minus 1 cubed.